So easy, man. Perfect kill shot on that buck. I mean, what, 35 yards? I shoot Instinctive, but these bows are so smooth and so easy to shoot compared to a lot of other bows. That's why they're in a class of their own. They truly are, man. They're just different, and I love them. What's up, guys? Thank you for joining me today on Instinctive Addiction Archery. I'm your host, Jeff Phillips. Got a cool one here for you today. Here it is. I wanted to show you guys my personal bow that the Sanlida, a Chinese company, all over Amazon. They have their own website. They're a 26-year-old company. If you're not familiar with them, big time, long time in the archery industry, and really top quality. They're miles ahead of all the rest. They truly are. And that comes from my personal testing of their equipment against many, many others. Okay, so you can get really good bows off Amazon. There are no bad ones. There truly are no bad ones, but there are some that are better than others. Now, I'm going to share something with you guys today about my personal setup about this bow, and it is by request. All right, I broke it out. It is still my all-time favorite ILF bow by a million miles. It truly is. I have not bought a budget or anything close to it ILF bow that would honestly compare to this bow. So I'm going to show you guys what I got and what I did to set mine up in case you do go on Amazon and you do buy one. And by the way, the warehouses are full. There's no shortage of the 60 inches, which is what I've got now. The 62-inch bows are sold out at the moment, but they are expecting them to be back in within the next week. Okay, so should not be a problem. There's tons of them on the way, guys, and the tariffs, quite frankly, interrupted the shipping. Okay, so all that's back going now. The 62s are going to be available. They may even be right now. By the time you watch this video, you can probably go on there and see that they're actually in stock, okay, if you need a 62-inch version. This one is a 60. Okay, guys, this is, again, the Sanlida Hermit X10 ILF bow, and it has carbon foam limbs and a T6061 T6 machined aluminum riser with a very narrow throat. Now, I've shared this in the early videos, what I did to my personal bow, and I'm going to show you guys that, and I'll actually shoot this thing for you and show you just why I love it so much. All right, number one, it has a very narrow, low wrist angle grip that I love. It is a very consistent grip. The quality of this riser, all of the components, the machining tolerances are perfect. You will not find anything. It's not a cheap cast riser. It is not. This is a fully machined riser, perfect amount of weight, and it is top quality. The ILF components in it are the best of the best, okay? So adjustable, it's crazy. Now, what I did with mine, because they don't come with a rest, they do not. You can set them up to shoot off the shelf very easily. However, you have to build your strike plate up because they are way past center. These bows are really intended, and when they were manufactured, to run a rest. They really were, but they don't include them. Now, Sanlida, if you happen to watch this video, I really, really wish you guys would include a rest like this NAP center rest. This is an NAP center rest. You can get the flipper rest as well. I have both. They work fine. I have actually wrapped mine with some Velcro to make it completely silent. But the NAP Archery center rest works like a charm. I mean, for like 20 bucks, you can set your tune so easily with center shot. And as far as your right and left goes, it is so incredibly easy. I went ahead and put some Velcro on mine to silence them, but yes, you can shoot off the shelf. You just have to build up the strike plate. All right, so that is basically it. I run the NAP rest on mine. Absolutely love it. I'm shooting 3 under. I set mine at 1/8 of an inch positive tiller. That means my top limb is a little bit weaker than the bottom for my personal anchor point, my personal grip. You might want to run a 1/4 inch if you have a large hand. If your hands are not really big like mine, an 1/8 inch is usually plenty. Okay, because true center of the bow, guys, and I've shared this in a lot of videos about ILF bows and wooden bows in general. The center of the bow is right here in the deepest part of the throat of the grip. That is true center of the bow. So anything above that, like where your arrow would really sit, is a little bit over an inch above that. If you're shooting split finger, one on top, two on bottom, you can almost get by with about a ½ inch, but 5/8 of an inch. I may have said 1 inch and 5/8, but it is 5/8 above center. Top nock 5/8 above center for 3 under is typically perfect. You might want to go 3/4 of an inch. All right. So I hope you guys got that straight anyway. It's not 1 inch and 5/8 or 1 inch and 3/4. It's only either 5/8 or 3/4 inch above center. That's all you need. A ½ inch works for split finger, guys. All right. So now, you can adjust the tiller on these bows so incredibly easy by simply loosening the lock nut. It is the same Allen key that fits the bolt head. You go in the back, you unlock it, okay? You unlock it, then you can adjust your tiller boat in and out. Poundage adjustment I have found on these bows to be about 3 pounds. I don't go more than about 3 to 4 rounds out from bottom. That's just what I do, even though the machining tolerances are so good with these, way better than others. You could probably go 5 rounds, but I'm not going to push it and not chance it. I don't really like to go much over about 3, maybe 4 rounds from completely bottomed out. But if you'll set your tiller somewhere in that area, you'll be fine. You have no danger whatsoever. Now, what else did I do to my bow to make it so bad to the bone? And guys, when I shoot this thing, I hope you will see why I love it so much. And if you could only feel the smoothness of these limbs, it would blow your mind. They are incredibly smooth limbs, and this bow is fast and it is quiet. Now, how do I get my bows really, really quiet? Number one, set the tiller correctly. Shoot at least a 10 grain per pound arrow. I shoot more than that. My arrows are close to 500 grains, and this is a 40-pound bow. So I shoot plenty of arrow, and it's still fast. But it helps absorb energy. There's no wasted energy in the limbs that's not going into the arrow, okay? So I do that. I set my tiller. I get it right. I use Velcro backing on my limbs. I use Velcro backing, and I'm running a triple T string. That's TTT strings. Trevor builds the finest strings that I personally have ever used. I always, on my recurves, I order a double cat whisker string, and I simply take one of them and slide it all the way up. This is the best silencing hack I could possibly ever share, and I do have that on a video about, it's called Silence of the Lambs, LAMBS, okay, for laminations. Anyway, but putting a cat whisker up against the recurve limb is the most sound absorbing thing you possibly can do with a recurve bow. Nothing will top it, all right? So that's what I do. And in case you don't have one of these strings, order you one, man. They've got their own website now, Triple T Strings. Man, you can order stock strings, you can have them custom built, whatever. They're not expensive, but they are the best D97 Flemish twist strings I personally have ever used. They are so consistent and just don't move, all right? I love them. So I'm running a Triple T in hot pink and black on this bow. Got my Voyager Triple T feathers on this thing to match it. They even make absolutely awesome feathers. Okay. I shoot 500 spine obsidian arrows from 3 Rivers, 3K crossweave arrows. My total arrow weight is 492 grains, so that's just shy of 500 grains, which is perfect for me. I'm running 100 grain inserts and 150 grain points on these arrows, and it tunes so amazing. All right, the last thing I got to share with you guys. My quiver is none other than a Selway. This is a Selway Archery strap-on quiver. Selway's rubber material is the best grip and acts like a sound absorber. It really absorbs sound. So you never ever have a problem with the tone of a limb. Once you put this system on there, when you put a Selway quiver on a recurve, you literally don't even need string silencers. The bow is gonna be quiet. But by the time you do that and you put a good string with good silencers on it, the bow is as quiet as it possibly can be, okay? So there's no such thing as I can't make an ILF bow quiet. Yes, you can. Number one, get the tiller set right. Number two, get the right string on it with the right brace height. And if you say, Jeff, what brace height are you running? I can tell you right now, I run 7.5 to 7 3/4 for me, because I draw 27 inches. That's the perfect for me. When you get too much contact, too low of a brace height, and you have too much limb contact, that's where you start to get a little excessive in the sound and in the vibration. If you run too tall of a brace height, it'll really quieten the bow down, but you will lose performance big time. Okay, no different than a compound bow. So you want that happy medium. So I run a triple T string, a Selway quiver, arrows, it doesn't matter. As long as they're spined right and you build them how you want them, it doesn't matter what arrows you shoot. This is just what I happen to like, and I like it because they're crossweave carbon and they match my limbs, which are crossweave carbon, so the bow is ultra cool looking. All right, it is, man. I'm all about the way a bow looks as much as I am it shoots, man. I like a cool bow. All right, so that's what I'm doing with my Hermit X10, and I wrap my grip with Wilson Comfort Wrap. Walmart, Wilson Comfort Wrap. You wrap it with that, it is the best feeling material because it comes with a walnut grip. A walnut grip feels amazing, but guess what? If your hand sweats in the summertime, your hand's gonna wanna try to move around a little bit if your hand sweats. So, and in the wintertime, if you have gloves like Sitka gloves, cotton gloves, anything like that, silk type, any kind of glove that doesn't have a grip on it, it's gonna tend to wanna slide as well when it's cold weather. So I wrap all of these bows with the Wilson Comfort Wrap from Walmart, and I absolutely love it, man. But Sanlida, let me tell you the story, and I'm going to shoot this thing right quick. All right, Sanlida introduced some of their bows to me back a couple of years ago, and I tried them out. I absolutely loved them. Their little X8 recurve, their little long bow, and the little Eagle X9 little takedown recurve. These bows blew my mind how good they shot for a little over $100. I mean, they were killer little bows. Well, I happened to be on their website when I got this, and I noticed on their website, I noticed this ILF bow, and it was called a Hermit X10. And I thought, wow, that's a pretty cool bow. So I contacted them. They sent me one to try out. Sure, send me one, see if you like it. That's when I did the video. And guys, I wish it hadn't been taken down, but it was called the Mystery Bow. And I unveiled this bow, and I was the only man in the United States of America that had one. Nobody had one of these bows in the United States. There had never been one shipped here. Never, ever, ever. I got the first one here. I rigged it out. It blew me away because it had Olympic recurve limbs on it, just like these. It's the same exact bow. Mind-blowing performance in the quality for $299. All right, so that's what it is. And then I got to thinking about the name. I don't know where they came up with the name Hermit, but to me it made sense. I'm like, well, this thing is like a hermit. It's hiding. The world doesn't know about it, and I'm going to bring it to light. Sure enough, I did. And they sold completely out of these till there was none left whatsoever in the warehouses. All right, that's how popular this bow got. They put it back in full production, got U.S. warehouses stocked up from Tennessee to everywhere else. And these bows have sold like crazy. And I will tell you flat out, if you ever experience one of them, if you want an ILF bow, it'll cost you a little bit, probably $100 more than say a T-bow will. But mind-blowing performance, and they're available in a 60-inch where most all others are only 62-inch bows. And guys like me, they're like 5'9" and hunt out of tree stands. A 60-inch bow is the longest bow I want to bow hunt with out of a tree. I don't really want to hunt with a 62-inch bow. So the 60 really appeased me. 17-inch riser, medium limbs, the ultimate combination. So guys, I'm going to shoot this thing for you and let you see what I mean. That it is absolutely nothing but incredible, and a very easy bow to set up and tune. Anybody can do it. I promise you. It is nothing but amazing. I'll shoot the old buck with it. Boom. just smooth as it can be, dead on smooth as it can be. This bow has a feel that it's hard to explain, but the limbs are like spongy. They're just spongy. The back wall is very comfortable, very soft, even with a 60-inch bow. I've shot 45 and 50 pound limbs and still very, very manageable for me. I just love 40 pounds because it's so incredibly easy to shoot and comfortable for me, and I'm getting the performance that I want even out of a lighter pound bow. But the way this bow holds at full draw, especially with the quiver, the loaded quiver, to me, the mass weight, you couldn't ask for any better mass weight of a bow and a more stable, accurate bow because of the way the grip fits the hand, and the bow just cradles so well. Unlike a lot of other bows that I don't care for the grips on, this narrow grip is just so consistent. It reminds me of a compound bow grip. Lots of compounds that I've shot, the grips are very, very similar to this bow. So it would be an easy transition bow if you're coming over from the compound world and you want to try a high performance ILF recurve. In other words, you want a recurve that just flat out shoots and is very, very comfortable. This is the bow for you. I promise it is. That's why I still got mine. I love it. I'll shoot the old doe target right quick. Dead on, man. This bow's fast. I'm not kidding, guys. This bow, even with a 500 grain arrow, minimum around 180 feet per second, okay? The thing is not slow because it is carbon foam limbs. I mean, I have not shot mine through the graph with this arrow. I don't know, but I can just tell from shooting it, the bow is really, really quick compared to a lot of others. Absolutely it is. As quick as a bow can be. For the pounds, I don't know of a 40-pound bow that would outshoot it. I promise you I don't. Just bam. I mean, this thing is so incredibly smooth, guys. It is. So, I hope you've enjoyed this. I wanted to bring this bow to light and just show you about the Sanlida Hermit X10. And I know people are doing videos on them on YouTube and stuff. There's guys reviewing them all over the place. And I'm not trying to do that. I want to show you my personal bow, how I set mine up, and why I love my personal bow so much. And I would so highly recommend this if you're in the market for a bow you can afford. If you're willing to spend $300 and then time you buy a quiver and a rest, I mean, you're probably going to be somewhere around the $450 range at max. Even with a string, I could say you could buy a triple T string, a cell weight quiver, arrows, and an NAP rest, no more than probably $500. You would have the baddest recurve you could imagine for $500. You can't even get a good raw bow for that hardly anywhere. I mean, you really can't, with the best of the best on it. So guys, I appreciate you joining me today on Instinctive Addiction Archery. Till next time, pray that everything we say and do bring honor and glory to the good Lord above that gives us all this cool stuff to enjoy. Till next time, love you guys. Goodbye.